When you heard that news, what were your initial thoughts?
I didn't really have too many thoughts, to be honest. It's something I can't really comment on. I don't know anything about it, and it's something that Manchester City have to deal with. We just focus on ourselves.
Do you think, though, hearing the breaches and the severity of it will act as a reminder for clubs in the Premier League to ensure they're careful with how they do their business moving forward?
Well, as I understand it, they're just charges, as I understand it, and the world we're in, I think, certainly in this country, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So it's not for me to comment on.
Is it a good thing, though, that the Premier League may be clamping down on it to ensure that the league is treated in a fair and proper way?
Well, I think in any competition, if you come out of this specific case in any competition, you need to make sure everybody's abiding by the rules, of course.
Right, moving on, Marc Cucurella, a few weeks ago he said that he was coping with something in his private life. He's been under quite a bit of scrutiny from Chelsea fans of late. How's he coping at the moment, and is it something he's still dealing with off the field?
Well, they're human beings and they've got private lives and they have things going on, and Mark's not the only one. And at the same time, you understand supporters that they pay the money. The most important thing is what's happening on that pitch in the 90 minutes. But nevertheless, you have to deal with stuff in your private life. But no, he's fine. He's going about his work. He knows he's probably not in the best moment of form he's ever been in, but he won't be the only player that has to go through those moments. He's a player that the club invested money in the summer, and it's our job to try and help him and support him and bring him to the place where he's showing everybody his qualities.
I did notice yesterday that there was a tweet liked by Todd Boehly that stated it was an article written by Football London that said that Marc Cucurella is not good enough to play for the club. Now, I saw that was liked on social media by Todd Boehly. I know you're not necessarily on social media yourself, but for a player to potentially see something like that must be quite disheartening.
I don't know. I can't comment. It's nothing that I would say is a reflection of Todd in any way. But I don't know how social media works. Like I said, everybody here is really supportive of Marc, and we're trying to help him get back to a level that he can get to and enjoy his football, because if a player's enjoying his football, the chances are they're going to play well.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, future, has been reported that he might be off on loan this week. Is there any truth in that?
No, nothing to report. He's been training with us this week, training really well, so conducting himself well, really good professional, supporting his teammates, and as I said, while he's here, he's doing exactly what I expect him to do, which is to train well and act well.
And final one, team news ahead of the game. Obviously, you welcome back João Felix as well, which must be a welcome sight for you. And any players come back from injury at all?
No, but they're all getting closer and closer. So Wesley has been training with the team. Denis Zakaria has been training with the team. We had a little setback with Raheem. He had a kick in training, so we're assessing him. He's probably doubtful for tomorrow, I would say.
Is that a new injury?
Yeah, just got a kick in training on the side of his knee. And apart from that, Mateo's trained with the team, but it'll be too soon for him. So it's good news. We've got some options.
Cheers, Graham.
Thank you.
Alex Albright.
Hi, Graham.
Hi. Good, thank you.
Just how much of a boost is it to have João Felix back? How much has he impressed you in training?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think we all saw his impact that he had in his 60 minutes before the red card. You can see his quality, see it every day. He's a player, I think, that can make a difference for us, but at the same time, it's about helping him, get into the team, get integrated into the team, and for the teammates around him, and for him to understand what we're trying to do. But the signs are really positive.
How are you going to manage the Benoit Shields situation? Do you feel like you need to test your Champions League defence ahead of Wednesday?
No, the most important thing is we focus on West Ham. That's the best way to prepare for any future game. The most important game is West Ham, so we're really happy with Benoit. and you know, he's available and he's in the thoughts for West Ham, and then we have to make another decision on Wednesday, but we worry about that after West Ham.
Chelsea haven't won away from home since October. How concerning is that statistic, and what would you put the run down to?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a statistic that we like, that's for sure. And for different reasons. I mean, going away from home in the Premier League is not straightforward, everybody knows that. And the problems that we've been having in terms of injuries, etc. But yeah, it's something that we're trying to address. We have to start against West Ham, of course. I've been there with Brighton and had a decent record there, but it's a totally different context, different situation. We need to, it's a London derby. No love lost, I don't think, between the two teams in terms of how the atmosphere will be, which is great, which is it's a good atmosphere for us to test ourselves in and then try to get the 3 points.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
Moose, Talks Football.
Hi, Graham.
Hello.
The away form hasn't been great, but you have won at West Ham this year, you personally. When you went there with Brighton, you won 2-0 earlier in the season. Does that give you a lot of heart?
Well, as I said previously, it's a totally different context, totally different occasion. I think West Ham Chelsea brings a different edge to it. Being a London derby with a relationship between the two clubs, fans, etc., etc. It's just a totally different situation. But it was nice to win there, and hopefully we can do it again.
You mentioned about João Felix integrating into the squad. How much do you need your squad to bed in quickly? I mean, much was made last week. You even joked about it, how many new players you've got. You need them to hit the ground running fairly quickly and integrate fairly quickly, don't you?
Well, if you listen to you guys, yes. And obviously, optimally, I'm going to say yes. Of course. I'm not going to say no, I need them to integrate slowly. So
what I mean is, how much patience are you able to give them?
How much patience am I able to give them? Well, it's my job. I mean, it's when you're coaching players and human beings, there's a process that you go through, and you have to work with that. You have to be patient. You have to understand the context, understand the situation. There'll be lots of talk, like I said, after the game, lots of talk around pressure and time. And if I'd have had a month of time for every time I've been asked that question, I'd be here for about 10 years. So that's just the nature of it. That's just how it is.
But the perception of being a Chelsea manager is that you're going to be successful, win trophies, or get into European competition. So, in a sense, there is a bit of a finite amount of time, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. And I'm not stupid, you know. At the end of the day, if the results aren't what this club should get, then I understand and if I'm the reason for it, then that's the job. In the meantime, I sort of again go through the process of working with the players, helping them improve, helping them come together. It's a complicated situation at the moment, but really excited for it. I've got to be honest. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to the challenge that awaits us. But again, I don't worry too much about the absolute timescale of it all.
Finally, the Super League. This week we're all talking about possible new plans for the Super League. You described the initial plans as sad, disturbing and frustrating. What do you think of the new plans where there'll be more teams, more promotion and relegation, not just a certain amount of teams that are going to be in it?
Well, my position hasn't changed in terms of I think it's the Premier League, it's the Champions League, it's wherever you are, you should get there on sporting merit, and that's my position still.
Thank you.
Nick Godwin, BBC 5 Live.
Does your position have to change if you're a manager of a club that could be involved in something like that, though?
It's hard to answer a hypothetical question, but no, I don't think so. I think my position is my position, and that's it.
You mentioned London derbies are quite unpredictable. Is that useful for you this weekend, do you think? A little bit of chaos may play to your advantage against West Ham?
I'm not sure. I think whenever I watch West Ham, and certainly I think historically, they're always tough games. David Moyes' sides are really competitive and organised. Everybody knows what they're doing. They've got some really, really good players. attack big spaces well, defend in numbers and defend well. Set pieces strong. So for us it's about understanding the environment, understanding the fact that it is a London derby, understanding that we have to match whatever intensity is coming at us with our own, and start the game well and try to take the 3 points.
West Ham have had quite a lot of investment over the last few months and have perhaps struggled to integrate players and play as a whole. Do you recognise the difficulties that David Moyes has had in that regard?
I have no sympathy for him, no whatsoever.
Adam,
it's a joke, sorry.
Too late. You were pictured this week having lunch with the owners and Emma Hayes. I'm not expecting you to divulge the details of the conversation, but have expectations changed since the January window, and how is your relationship with the ownership changing as the club invests and progress?
I think the expectations have always been the same, which is we want to develop a team that ultimately wins, and we know that there's opportunities to make changes to the team in windows when they're open. So that hasn't changed, and my relationship has been consistent with them in terms of there's been regular dialogue and regular conversation, and we understand where we both are in terms of where we see the picture, where we see the team, and we're working together really well, I think, to try to keep improving.
Okay, that's the end.